Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that has the potential to transform your life in ways you may not even believe. It's something that can help you break free from the chains of doubt, fear, and negativity. It's the force that can turn obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. That power, my friends, is the power of positive thinking. Our mindset plays a pivotal role in shaping our reality. It's not just a passing thought or something we think about occasionally. It's the foundation upon which everything we experience is built. Our beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes about the world and ourselves create the lens through which we interpret every situation. What this means is that the way we think directly influences how we interact with the world and how the world responds to us. When we choose a positive mindset, we begin to see opportunities where others might see obstacles. The way we approach problems, challenges, and even simple tasks is heavily influenced by our mindset. If you go into a situation believing it will end badly, that belief can often make it difficult for you to see potential solutions or possibilities. Your perception becomes clouded by the expectation of failure, and often that expectation will be realized because your actions or energy reflect that belief. On the flip side, when you cultivate a positive mindset, even in the face of adversity, you begin to look for solutions, alternatives, and ways to overcome the challenges that come your way. The belief that things can get better and that there is always a way forward transforms how you act. It shifts your energy and opens up possibilities that weren't visible before. This doesn't mean that you ignore difficulties or live in denial about challenges, but instead you approach them with the confidence and mindset that you can handle them, no matter how tough they may seem. The power of mindset extends beyond how we view external situations. It directly impacts how we see ourselves. Many times, our thoughts about our own capabilities and worth shape how we interact with the world. If you believe you are capable of success, you will approach tasks with more enthusiasm, creativity, and persistence. But if you believe you are destined to fail, you may hold back, hesitate, or avoid taking action altogether. Our internal dialogue, the conversations we have with ourselves, is one of the most important aspects of our mindset. What we tell ourselves shapes our self-esteem, our resilience, and ultimately, our success. Consider the difference between someone who thinks they can achieve a goal and someone who doubts their abilities. The person with self-doubt may never even try or might give up at the first sign of difficulty. The person with belief in themselves, however, will persist, adapt, and find ways to overcome hurdles. Their mindset drives them to keep moving forward. They will attract the right opportunities, and their actions will reflect their belief in success. This is the difference between someone who seems to effortlessly move through life and someone who remains stuck in the same place, unable to make progress. This shift in mindset isn't something that happens overnight. It requires practice, discipline, and a willingness to challenge and change the negative thought patterns that might have developed over years. It involves catching ourselves when we think negatively and consciously replacing those thoughts with ones that serve us better. It's a process of rewiring the brain to default to optimism, perseverance, and problem solving. Positive thinking, at its core, is about reprogramming our minds to see the best possible outcome, even when the situation seems uncertain or difficult. The beauty of this process is that the more we practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, positive thinking is no longer something we have to consciously force. It becomes a default way of thinking, and it begins to influence everything we do. As we continue to strengthen our mindset, we develop resilience. We no longer see setbacks as failures, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. Our mindset begins to reflect our true potential, and with that, our actions begin to align with that vision. In essence, the way we think determines how we show up in the world. A positive mindset enables us to act with confidence, to face challenges head on, and to persist in the pursuit of our goals. It empowers us to believe in our own potential, to see setbacks as temporary, and to find the strength to keep moving forward no matter what. The power of mindset is immense, and when we harness it, it can shape the very life we create for ourselves. Empowering thoughts are the ones that push us toward action, toward growth, and toward our ultimate potential. These are the thoughts that tell us, I can do this, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Empowering thoughts are rooted in self-belief, optimism, and possibility. When we choose these types of thoughts, we immediately shift our energy and outlook. Instead of seeing ourselves as victims of our circumstances, we start to view ourselves as active participants in shaping our destiny. Empowering thoughts provide us with the courage to take risks, to step out of our comfort zones, and to make decisions that lead us to success. But how do we cultivate empowering thoughts? It all starts with awareness. Often, we let our thoughts run on autopilot without giving them much attention. We may think about our goals, our challenges, or our past experiences, but we rarely pause to assess whether the thoughts we're having are empowering or disempowering. Many of us are conditioned to focus on the negatives, the obstacles, the failures, the things that are out of our control. This way of thinking can quickly drain our energy and confidence, leaving us stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and frustration. However, by becoming aware of the nature of our thoughts, we can start to choose those that serve us in a positive way. It is not about denying reality or pretending that everything is perfect. Empowering thoughts are not about ignoring difficulties or living in a fantasy world. Instead, they are about recognizing that no matter what challenges we face, we have the strength, resources, and creativity to find solutions. An empowering thought might sound like, this is a tough situation, but I've overcome challenges before, and I can do it again. By framing our thoughts in a way that acknowledges our own resilience and potential, we empower ourselves to take the necessary actions that will move us closer to our goals. One of the key aspects of empowering thoughts is their ability to shift our focus from what we cannot control to what we can control. It is easy to become overwhelmed by things outside of our influence, whether it's the economy, other people's opinions, or circumstances beyond our reach. However, when we choose thoughts that empower us, we focus on the aspects of the situation that we can control: our actions, our responses, and our mindset. When we shift our focus in this way, we immediately regain a sense of agency and power over our lives. Furthermore, empowering thoughts not only affect how we view challenges, but they also influence the way we relate to others. When we choose thoughts that empower us, we become more confident in our interactions with others. We communicate more effectively. We handle conflicts with grace, and we are better able to build positive relationships. Empowered thinking radiates outward, creating a ripple effect that influences our social interactions, our professional life, and our overall well-being. It's also important to understand that choosing empowering thoughts requires practice and discipline. It's not something that happens overnight. In fact, the mind has a tendency to default to negative thinking because of our evolutionary wiring to focus on potential threats. But the more we consciously choose thoughts that empower us, the more we retrain our brains to seek out positive solutions and opportunities. It's a process of reconditioning, and over time it becomes easier to focus on the possibilities rather than the limitations. When we actively choose empowering thoughts, We are no longer passive observers of our lives. We become the creators of our reality. Our thoughts shape our actions, and our actions shape our outcomes. By consistently choosing thoughts that serve us, thoughts that are aligned with our goals, values, and vision for the future, we begin to attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that are in harmony with our aspirations. Empowering thoughts create momentum, and that momentum propels us forward on the path to success. The mind is a powerful tool, and when it is directed toward solutions rather than problems, it becomes a catalyst for creativity and action. When faced with a challenge, instead of dwelling on how hard it is or how impossible it might seem, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is this situation teaching me? This simple shift in perspective doesn't deny the reality of the situation, but it empowers you to look beyond the immediate difficulty to see the potential that lies within it. This shift doesn't just apply to big, life-altering situations. It applies to the everyday struggles we face as well. Whether it's a minor setback or a major life challenge, focusing on possibilities opens up a range of options and alternative ways to move forward. For instance, let's say you're dealing with a project that isn't going as planned. If you focus on the problems, you may end up feeling stressed and stuck, unable to make progress. But if you focus on the possibilities, you might find new methods, new strategies, or even new partners who can help. This mindset fosters adaptability, creativity, and a willingness to try new approaches, qualities that are essential for overcoming any obstacle. When we choose to focus on possibilities, we also begin to see the connections between our experiences. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and sometimes it may feel like we are moving backward or stuck in a rut. But when we focus on the potential that every experience offers, we begin to recognize that every challenge, no matter how difficult, is part of a larger picture. Perhaps the setback you're experiencing is preparing you for a greater opportunity in the future. Maybe it's teaching you a lesson that you wouldn't have learned otherwise. When you focus on the possibilities, you begin to see that every experience is valuable, even if it doesn't immediately seem so. The more we focus on possibilities, the more our mindset shifts from a place of fear to a place of empowerment. Fear often arises when we focus on the problems or limitations in a situation. We worry about what could go wrong, about our perceived lack of resources, or about what others might think. However, by focusing on possibilities, we reframe the situation in a way that encourages confidence and action. Instead of feeling trapped, we feel inspired and open to exploring new avenues. This shift enables us to move forward with purpose instead of stagnating in uncertainty. Focusing on possibilities also helps us to tap into our resilience. Life is unpredictable, and no one is immune to difficulties. However, it's not the challenges themselves that define us. It's how we respond to them. When we focus on possibilities, we are better equipped to adapt and recover when things don't go as planned. We develop the strength to keep moving forward, knowing that no matter how many obstacles we face, there are always opportunities for growth and improvement. Additionally, focusing on possibilities nurtures optimism. It's easy to become cynical when things aren't going well, but choosing to look at the brighter side of things opens up new pathways to success. Optimism doesn't mean ignoring the challenges. It means choosing to believe that things will improve and that no matter what happens, you can handle it. When you focus on the possibilities, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and instead see yourself as an active participant in shaping your future. The shift from problems to possibilities also fosters a sense of agency. When we focus on problems, we often feel like we are at the mercy of the situation, unable to influence the outcome. But when we focus on possibilities, we realize that we have the power to create change. It's not always easy, and the process may be slow, but by focusing on the possibilities, we reclaim our sense of control and become more proactive in making decisions that align with our goals. In this way, focusing on possibilities is not just about positive thinking. It's about empowerment, action, and growth. It's about choosing to see the future not as a series of insurmountable problems, but as a landscape full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. By consistently shifting our focus from problems to possibilities, we open ourselves up to new experiences, new ideas, and new ways of thinking, all of which can lead to a life that is richer, more fulfilling, and more successful. Positive thinking is not just about having an optimistic outlook. It's about using that optimism as a driving force behind the actions you take. It's easy to think positively in theory, but the real magic happens when those positive thoughts translate into tangible action. A positive mindset doesn't just make you feel good. It empowers you to act with purpose, drive, and clarity. When you believe in yourself, when you believe that success is possible, you are more likely to take the steps necessary to achieve your goals. Positive thinking fuels confidence and action in ways that are truly transformative. At the core of positive thinking is the belief that challenges can be overcome, that obstacles are not permanent roadblocks, and that failure is simply a part of the process of success. When you hold this belief, you are much more likely to take proactive steps toward your goals, even when the path isn't clear or the situation is difficult. You don't wait for things to be perfect before taking action, because you know that the act of doing is itself a step toward growth. Positive thinking builds the inner strength to push through doubt, fear, and uncertainty, which are often the biggest barriers to progress. Confidence is the key ingredient that connects positive thinking to action. When you have confidence in yourself and in your ability to navigate challenges, you are more likely to take bold actions. This is because confidence removes the paralyzing effect of fear. Many people avoid taking action because they are afraid of failure or rejection. But when you think positively, you understand that setbacks are not failures. They are opportunities for learning and growth. Confidence empowers you to try, to fail, to learn, and to try again. It drives you to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to persist even when the outcome is uncertain. For instance, think about starting a new business. The fear of failure and uncertainty can make it tempting to hold back, to wait until all the conditions are perfect, or to hesitate in the face of obstacles. But with a positive mindset, you approach the challenge differently. You focus on the possibilities, the lessons you will learn along the way, and the confidence that no matter what, you have the ability to overcome whatever comes your way. This belief allows you to take the necessary steps to get started. You make calls, meet people, create a plan, and take action. You know that you don't need to have everything figured out from the beginning. What matters is that you take the first step, and then the next one, and the next. With each action, you build momentum, and with that momentum, confidence grows, and the path forward becomes clearer. Another way positive thinking fuels action is by fostering resilience. Life will always have its challenges. Things won't always go according to plan, and there will be moments when things feel impossible. But a positive mindset allows you to view these moments with a different perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as permanent or insurmountable, you see them as temporary, insurmountable. This resilience is essential because it prevents you from giving up when things get tough. Instead of letting disappointment stop you, positive thinking gives you the strength to bounce back and try again. It keeps you moving forward, even when the journey is difficult. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about learning to embrace them, knowing that every challenge you face will only make you stronger. When positive thinking fuels action, it also influences your approach to others. Confidence in yourself can have a ripple effect on those around you. When you are confident and optimistic, others are more likely to be inspired by your energy and vision. You start to attract people who share your mindset and who can support you on your journey. Positive thinking builds a network of like-minded individuals who can provide encouragement, resources, and opportunity. As you take action, you also create an environment that supports your growth and success. You begin to see collaboration, shared ideas, and mutual support as natural outcomes of the positive energy you put into the world. Positive thinking also encourages persistence. Success rarely happens overnight. The road to achieving any meaningful goal is often long and filled with setbacks. However, when you think positively, you maintain the belief that success is possible, and that belief fuels your persistence. You keep taking action even when progress seems slow, because you understand that each step is moving you closer to your destination. Positive thinking allows you to keep going, even when things seem difficult or discouraging. It's the inner conviction that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Ultimately, positive thinking doesn't just make us feel good, it compels us to act in ways that move us toward the life we desire. It builds confidence, resilience, and persistence, three qualities that are essential for achieving success. When we believe in ourselves and maintain a positive outlook, we take action with conviction, clarity, and purpose. And with every action we take, we bring our dreams closer to reality. Embracing challenges as opportunities is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your mindset. It changes the way you view obstacles and setbacks, transforming them from insurmountable problems into valuable lessons and stepping stones on the path to success. When faced with a challenge, many people instinctively feel defeated, anxious, or overwhelmed. The natural reaction is often to avoid the challenge or to give up entirely, especially if the difficulty seems too great. However, when you reframe challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, everything changes. You start to see each challenge as a chance to improve, expand your capabilities, and move closer to your goals. The idea of embracing challenges as opportunities might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, why would anyone willingly seek out difficulty or hardship? The reason is that challenges are where growth happens. When life is smooth and free of obstacles, we tend to remain in our comfort zones. There's little need to stretch ourselves, to learn new skills, or to push past our limits. However, when faced with a challenge, we are forced to evolve. We tap into new reserves of creativity, resilience, and determination. We find solutions that we might not have considered before. In other words, challenges compel us to grow in ways that we would not if everything were easy. This shift in perspective is crucial because challenges are inevitable. No one is exempt from facing adversity at some point in their life. Whether it's a career setback, a personal struggle, or an unexpected life event, challenges are a part of the human experience. But it is not the challenge itself that defines our success. It is how we respond to it. If we approach challenges with the mindset that they are opportunities for growth, we are more likely to take proactive steps to overcome them. We don't waste energy on feelings of frustration or self-pity. Instead, we focus on what we can learn, how we can adapt, and what new solutions we can find. For example, consider the situation of someone who has just been laid off from their job. The initial reaction might be one of shock, fear, and uncertainty. However, if that person can reframe the situation as an opportunity, the perspective changes. Losing a job might force them to reconsider their career path, to think about their true passions and desires, and to explore new opportunities that they may not have considered before. Perhaps it leads them to start their own business or to take a new course that opens doors they hadn't previously imagined. In this case, the challenge of job loss becomes a stepping stone to personal and professional growth. Another example could be someone facing a health crisis. Initially, it may feel like an insurmountable obstacle, a disruption to life as they know it. However, if that person chooses to embrace the challenge, they might discover new strengths within themselves. They may become more mindful of their health, learn how to manage stress more effectively, or develop healthier habits. The challenge forces them to change, to improve, and to become more resilient. In this way, what initially seems like a devastating event can lead to profound transformation and growth. Furthermore, embracing challenges as opportunities enables you to build resilience. Resilience is not something that comes naturally. It is developed through adversity. Every time you face a challenge and persevere through it, you become stronger. You gain the confidence that no matter what life throws at you, you have the inner strength and resources to handle it. The more challenges you embrace, the more resilient you become, and the more capable you are of handling future difficulties with grace and determination. This mindset also leads to greater innovation. Challenges often require us to think outside the box and find creative solutions to problems. When faced with a difficult situation, we don't just accept the status quo, we look for ways to improve, to innovate, and to make things better. This mindset fosters a sense of curiosity and experimentation, where failure is not seen as something to be feared, but as part of the learning process. Each failure teaches us something valuable, bringing us closer to the right solution. Moreover, when you embrace challenges as opportunities, you begin to realize that success is not a straight line. There will always be bumps along the way, and things won't always go according to plan. However, this understanding frees you from the pressure of perfection. You stop expecting everything to go smoothly and instead learn to enjoy the process, knowing that every challenge you encounter is simply part of the journey. With this mindset, the fear of failure fades, and you start to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. In the end, embracing challenges as opportunities is about shifting your perspective. It's about seeing the potential for growth in every difficult situation and recognizing that the challenges you face are not there to defeat you, but to shape you into the person you need to become in order to achieve your dreams. It's about developing the strength, resilience, and creativity to overcome any obstacle and trusting that each challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, learn, and ultimately succeed. One of the key benefits of practicing gratitude is that it shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance. We live in a world where it is easy to become fixated on what we don't have. Whether it's material possessions, success, relationships, or other aspects of life, it's natural to feel like there's always something more we could be doing or attaining. However, when we practice gratitude, we start to notice all the things we already have, things that we may have taken for granted in the past. By focusing on what is already present in our lives, we begin to recognize the abundance that surrounds us. This shift in perspective allows us to feel more content, more at peace, and more satisfied with the life we are currently living. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in fostering a positive mindset. It is easy to get caught up in negative thinking, especially when things aren't going the way we want. But when we consciously make an effort to focus on what we are grateful for, we train our minds to notice the positive aspects of our lives. This doesn't mean that we ignore the challenges or difficulties. We simply choose to balance them with a recognition of the good that still exists. When we practice gratitude, we are more likely to approach challenges with a mindset of resilience, optimism, and determination. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by problems, we begin to see them as opportunities to learn and grow, knowing that we have the resources within us to navigate them. Moreover, gratitude has the power to improve our relationships. When we express gratitude toward others, whether through simple words of appreciation or acts of kindness, we strengthen our connections with them. People feel valued and seen when their efforts are acknowledged. And this creates a positive cycle of mutual respect and appreciation. Gratitude also helps us cultivate empathy and understanding. By focusing on the positive aspects of our relationships, we are less likely to be consumed by negativity or conflict. Instead, we begin to see the good in others and in the moments we share with them. This shift in focus not only improves our relationships, but also contributes to a sense of connection and belonging. In addition to improving our relationships with others, gratitude has profound benefits for our physical and mental well-being. Studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can reduce stress, increase feelings of happiness, and even improve sleep quality. When we focus on the positive aspects of our lives, our brains release feel-good chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin, which are associated with happiness and well-being. Gratitude also lowers levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, helping us manage stress more effectively. This means that the simple act of being grateful can actually enhance our overall health and quality of life. Gratitude also fosters a sense of mindfulness. When we pause to reflect on what we are grateful for, we are present in the moment. This mindfulness practice allows us to slow down, appreciate the here and now, and fully experience the richness of our lives. We stop rushing through life, constantly chasing after the next goal or achievement, and instead we learn to savor the moments that matter. Whether it's a quiet moment of peace, a shared laugh with a friend, or the beauty of nature, practicing gratitude allows us to fully experience the blessings that are already present in our lives. Additionally, gratitude has the power to increase motivation. When we are grateful for the progress we've made and the things we've already achieved, we are more likely to continue moving forward. Gratitude helps us acknowledge how far we've come, which fuels our desire to keep going. It reminds us that we have the capability and the strength to overcome obstacles and reach our goals. This positive reinforcement boosts our confidence and encourages us to take the necessary steps to move closer to our aspiration. In every aspect of life, gratitude is a transformative practice. It shifts our focus from what is missing to what is abundant, from negativity to positivity, from isolation to connection. It enhances our physical and mental health, strengthens our relationships, and increases our motivation. Most importantly, gratitude allows us to experience life in its fullest form, embracing both the challenges and the blessings that come our way. By making gratitude a daily practice, we unlock a new level of joy, contentment, and fulfillment in our lives.